want to do a little bit of a different style video because we're more than halfway through the first month of 2024 so far. And I see a lot of people that have already quit the goals that they set out to achieve this year. In fact, that January 17th has even been noted as Quitter's Day because it's known statistically for being the day that most people quit their New Year's resolution by. Now, I didn't have a New Year's resolution. I didn't set out to have a new fitness goal or anything like that. My goal is simple. I want to be the absolute best version of myself that I can every single year after year, and I want to continue improving. And to do that, you don't want to set some gimmicky goal or resolution. You want to put solid disciplines and habits in place so that you can continue to progress. See, I think that should be the goal above anything else is progress. You have these people wanting to, take down an entire empire in the first quarter of the year. And for most people, that's just not reality. It's not going to happen. But what can you do to progress today that will help you get closer to your goal? So for me, some things that I've been doing is, one, taking my health more seriously. In the past, I have not worked out as hard as I could have. It's easy to get into the gym, but how hard are you actually working? Are you pushing your body? Are you doing the things that you need to do to stress those muscles enough to make them grow? And then on top of that, are you feeding your body the nutrients that it needs to continue growing? So I've been working on that. I've also been really focusing on one thing in my business life. What I mean by that is, in the past, it's been easy because I'm a busy guy to get spread out, spread my attention over 3, 4, 5, 6 different things. And sometimes I look back and 6 months have passed and I haven't had progress in any of them. I'm bouncing back and forth between ideas and projects, and stuff's getting left behind because I just haven't been focused on one thing. And what I've really noticed is that when I take my time and attention and I really nail down and focus on one thing, I can accomplish more in a couple months than I would have in a year with my attention spread out. And that's because you're so dialed in and focused on the one thing that you actually see it to the finish line. And when you have so many projects on your plate, it's easy to, one, go into analysis paralysis. Like you feel like you have so much to do that you don't actually do any work that pushes the needle. You're doing busy work, you're getting distracted with other things on your plate, you're scrolling on social media. You might go into some depression just because you have so much to do and you don't know how to get started. But by simplifying that entire process, focusing and dialing your attention into one project, it's much easier to progress in that way. And so that's a change that I've made this year. And so far it's serving me extremely well. I think we fall into this sexiness of entrepreneurship. And there's that saying out there that the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. They might have 7 sources of income. They didn't start that way. Like they really mastered one source first. And then once they were able to delegate that and hire people in that position and free up their time, then they started building another revenue source. And I think people get that misconstrued and misunderstood. They feel like they should have 7 sources of income now. And so they're trying to do crypto, they're doing drop shipping, they might try Airbnb, real estate investing. They've got all these irons in the fire and none of them are getting hot. None of them are actually producing significant revenue. And the crazy thing that I've found on how that works, because I've been there multiple times in the past, you can have 3 different things going on that are spitting out 500 to 3,000 a month in revenue. But if you really focused on one, you could turn that into 15 or 20,000. So you make exponentially more money on one project when you focus on that rather than 2. And the thing is, guys, you're not naturally born knowing these things. You have to test them out and get some experience over time. Because naturally as entrepreneurs, we want the stress, we want the challenge, we want all these irons in the fire. Otherwise we don't feel like we're progressing or doing enough, when actually the opposite is true. We're doing too much, and so we're not accomplishing enough. We're not progressing enough. And the way that you build those habits is by building the discipline first. And what I've noticed noticed is that my entire life at any given point kind of revolves around my physical fitness. If I am out of shape, if I am not going to the gym, if I'm skipping my workouts, if I'm going there and I am only putting in minimal effort, then I notice that I do the same in my work. I do the same in my marriage. I do the same with my kids, with other relationships. Is that the life that you want? Is that the life that you want, to only put in the bare minimum? And here's the thing. People are going to look at you like you're crazy. They're going to think that what you're doing is stupid. They're going to look at you whenever you're up at 5 a.m. or 6 or whatever time you get up. Like, it needs to be early in the morning. But whatever you're doing in life, when you're doing something outside of the norm, you're going to get shunned. They're going to look at you like you're a freaking alien or something like that. And that's not a bad thing. When you look at what people have on average, talking about their life in general, the way that they live, their fitness, their bank account, their spouse, how happy they are in their marriage, like all of those things, comparatively, those people are not doing that well. And so why would you be upset at what someone thinks when they aren't living the life that you dream of? As for me, I'm going to keep pushing myself. I'm going to keep doing more. I'm going to keep contributing more. I'm going to get better, and I'm going to give that to the world. And I encourage you to do the same.